Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto Willis, your host now. I am so sorry for being late, but just at the end of the program on TV, I saw a video that shook me to the core, and I had to process it right away. I had 3 minutes to do it, and I kind of rushed it. I want you guys to see this video. I'm going to wait for a few more people to get on before I show it, but it shows you the inhumanity of what we have become. The inhumanity of what we have become. Let me go ahead and start by welcoming a few folks first, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome aboard AVQ from Brooklyn, New York. We got Joe from Los Angeles, California. We have in the house Yvette Abrahart from Atlanta, Georgia. Patrick Magner from Houston, Texas. Bruce Pollard from Kingwood, Texas. Let's see who else we've got. Margaret Ryan, welcome aboard. Remember, we missed the first few on Substack. Paul Fleming from Powder Springs, Georgia. Anne Emery, Margaret Ryan. We also have Michael Greenman, Margaret, Todd Richardson. And as more coming, I'll get to it. Sorry, we had to start. I'm about 4 or 5 minutes late. Sorry about that. But I wanted this. I needed you guys to see this video. I needed you, Michael Greenman from Columbus, Ohio. I needed you guys to see this. And Margaret is from Eastern Washington. Anyway, let me go ahead and start with Michael. People Magazine, Fox News. Jesse Waters calls to bomb UN or maybe gas it after broken escalator and teleprompter during Trump's visit. Claimed on the 5 that the escalator and the teleprompter malfunctioned during the Trump's United headquarters on Tuesday as an insurrection. And what we need to do is either leave the UN or bomb it. I swear, these guys are crazy because let me tell you, the escalator stopped because his photographer tripped the thing upstairs when he was trying to come down on an escalator going up. That's the report so far. And the teleprompter was actually being managed by Trump's people, not by the UN. So please, let's be real here. Natalie Lago from Hampton, Virginia. Thank you for being here, Natalie. So, I mean, the level of misinformation is so far deep embedded in our system. And the other thing that we have to get rid of is falling for it. And Democrats better learn how to fight. Michael Radin says the indictment of James Comey, the former FBI director, has long been a target of President Trump's campaign for retribution. A grand jury indicted James Comey, the former FBI director, on Tuesday night. It is a case that Trump has personally demanded that federal prosecutors pursue despite their doubts whether Comey committed the crime or not. I'm going to tell you guys something. Let me finish up. Trump ran on a campaign of revenge politics to politicize FBI and DOJ, demand fabricated charges, and use government to go after his political enemies. Never in the history of our country have we fallen this far. Trump is an angry clown with a flamethrower. Let me tell you guys something, okay? I have no sympathy for, welcome Angie Decadence. I have no sympathy for Comey. Even though my good friend Greg Pallas doesn't believe that Comey's what he did with Hillary had an effect on the thing, I am still dubious about it, and it shouldn't have been done. But Comey was always in the bag for the right? So, he's sleeping in the bed that he made, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I hate to see that somebody gets tripped up for not being guilty of something. But you know what? He allowed the guy in power, the guy who we all knew would operate in that fashion. They didn't care that they were putting an incompetent thug in the White House. They didn't care. They just wanted one of theirs in the White House. They just wanted one of theirs in the White House, no matter what type of thug it became. And they're getting the results of the thug they put into office. Now, however, the Democrats better get their act together and learn how to fight appropriately. They need to learn how to fight appropriately. All right. I'm not going to read that last one. you guys in the chat can read it on your own. Everybody is killing everyone or just letting it happen. It's a shame, Bruce. You know, we have to do better. I saw some TikToks that talk about why is it that we don't learn that we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. All of us need to learn that. You know, if I see somebody hurt, I want to help them. Although the way the system is starting to work right now, you go ahead and well, I'm not going to go there. Let's see. Paul Fleming reported 100K tariff on pharmaceuticals that are imported into the United States. This is certainly will increase the price of drugs. Yep, somebody paying him off. But anyhow, okay, let me, I'm going to hold a little bit more and I'm going to say this. Let me pull those videos up because in being late, all the 2 videos that I have to show today, I have not pulled them up. So let me get the ICE video and let me also get the interview video. I interviewed one of our own this morning because I just thought it was time and I wanted to lighten things up a bit today. So I interviewed one of our own listeners who had something interesting to say. So I wanted to bring that in. But in the interim, let me pull in that, let's see, come on. I need to get to you. Date, where is the date? Creative writing, there we go. Found it. All right. So, Egberto, if you need some stall time, please play this. What is that? Let's see, what is that?
What's up, Dr. Evil? Stephen Miller.
Oh, guess what? I wish I could play it, but I get into YouTube really hits you hard on this stuff, man. I'm sorry I can't do it. I would love to, but they'll give me a strike on that one. Nadi Lago says, remember in the 2002 Moscow theater hostage crisis, Putin ordered his special forces to pump an incapacitating gas into the theater before raiding it and ended up killing more than 130 people. I remember well. All right, I'm probably play this video now and then play it again at the end. If you want to see what inhumanity looks like, and this is what the rest of the world is going to see about us, the ones who believe me, check this out, and I want you to see what's going on.
Just grab her, pull her away. Suerte, señora. Suelta a la niña. Adiós. Oh my God. Press.
All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international. Now, did you guys see what that animal, and we have to refer him exactly what he is, an animal. That little girl, they're taking her mother away. I tell you what, we had a whole bunch of people that just came in again. This stuff is hitting me to the core, folks. I mean, I want you guys to see it, and I want you guys to feel it. So let me set it up again. If we in America like to think about ourselves that we have grown into a country of compassion, yes, we had a poor start. Yes, we had slavery. Yes, we had genocide. Yes, we had all these things. But as we grew, we attempted to become better people. Women's rights, equal rights, civil rights. And then we get this regression because many decided to elect a thug, a fascist, an evil person into power. For those that have just come in again, I want you to see this and hope that you felt or feel what I'm feeling when I see what this animal did, this ice animal did to a young woman. A natural response is you're breaking up a family. A mother is being taken away from her teenage daughter or maybe younger. And the daughter is grabbing onto the mother. And you have this animal of an ICE agent. Check. And you know, this is what we get, right? The only people who would want to be ICE agents right now are animals who want to do this to people. Check this out and then we'll take it on the other side.
Just grab her, pull her away. Pull her away. Suerte! Suerte, señora! Suelta a la niña! 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 Adiós. Adiós. Oh my God. Press, move out.
You can only get animals to do this kind of work. You can only get animals to do this kind of work because this is unjust, this is evil, and anybody wants to make it seem any other way for political correctness or whatever. Anybody accepting these kinds of a job, how can you see them but for what they are? And that demonstration that what we saw is on camera. Think about when the camera isn't there. Again, the people that want this job, that are lining up for this job, are in the same ilk as our president. It is a shame what we are becoming and what we have allowed. And there should be no, going forward in elections in this country, anybody who votes for anybody right of center that is supporting this is your instantiation of evil abstracted. I can't tell you the feeling that's going through my body right now. I can't express the feeling that's going through my body right now. That little girl, I have a daughter. I have a daughter. I have nieces, cousins. And my reaction to anybody who would have treated them like that, I don't know what my reaction would be. I really don't. And if you can watch that and not have your blood boil, if you can watch that and not feel that empathy, there is something wrong. And the cancer that Donald Trump and his ilk and the right has allowed to metastasize. I tell you, man, I don't have any words for this, but spread this. Let folks know what's being done in their names. This isn't policing. This isn't maintaining our safety. This is simply the instantiation of evil. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, guys. Egberto, when you have some time outside, yes, I do. I forgot to give you a call. Drop me an email, please, Michael. Please drop me an email with that number, etc. Right now, I'm not in a good state. Earlier today, I had 2 interviews. One with Greg Palace that I have to go process. I kind of released it because we had some technical problems, but I need to process it correctly. And the other one is with our Tom C. Sarnik. And that's the one's going to play. It's a pleasant interview. I want you to listen to this. It's a very pleasant interview, and it gives us a little time to get away from this here. Michael says, Egberto, I used to run the local chapter of NYC 5 Boroughs Cap Block Facebook channel. Cases like this happen on a weekly, and it boiled my blood every time. After a while, it took a toll on my health and couldn't take it anymore. Let's see. Did you ask me to do some or some? No. I'm okay. That was for Michael Greenman. The email, egberto@egbertowillies.com. egberto@egbertowillies.com, Michael. But anyway, let me play this interview. I need to take it. Let's see. Egberto, your E2247, Egberto, your Marjorie suffered by seeing that is also my moral injury. Unfortunately, it is also an injury of the gun that separated the parent from the child and then assaulted the parent upon zero provocation. Absolutely. And, I get you, brother. I get you. So anyhow, send it by email, Michael, your cell phone number. All right. Let me go ahead and play the interview that I did today, and then we'll take care of it. All right. Welcome to another edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Today I have a special guest, somebody that's been with us before. I'm here with Tom Sarnik. In his retired years, Tom has become what I call a poet, an author, and an activist, and quite a bit more. How you doing today, Tom?
Oh, I feel great seeing you again.
Well,
I've been in the shadows watching you and listening to you in the morning. So I feel like I'm connected to your program. I haven't really gone away, but I haven't identified myself as much as you probably would like me to. And I haven't been writing as much poetry lately. I've been writing articles for Daily Kos mainly. So that's what we want to talk about today, too.
Yeah, I've seen that you've written quite a few articles at Daily Kos, but let me just tell our audience, as you know, Politics Done Right, we have a lot of audience participation, both in chat, phone calls, and people even send me emails. And Tom is one of those that he's participated in all 3, phone calls, emails, chats, but there's something else special. He is what I call our poet laureate, because he sends out and he puts out some great limericks that have great presence for any particular day. In fact, I don't think we've gotten a limerick from you lately, Tom.
Right. I haven't been writing limericks. I've been trying, actually, off and on. I don't know. I don't see as much humor going on. It's a little tough to make a limerick about Charlie Kirk, for one thing. I mean, that's pretty sad. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. I guess I lost my inspiration a little bit because of the dark side that's been in the news lately. But I plan on doing some more. I will. I got some ideas. So I hope to get something to you soon.
Well, the limericks that you gave, a lot of times you've taken a lot of negative stuff and made it humorous. In fact, you get quite a bit of claps when you do it on from our Substack audience whenever you come out with one of those limericks. But there's a concept that you have called creative writing activism. And I think the limericks fall right into that domain as well. So why don't you tell me about what you, as a writer, and I really want to stress that as a writer, what you think is your contribution with what you call creative writing activism?
Okay, this is something new for me, because I've been writing this journal. It's called Corona Notes since May of 2020, and I have about 450 pages written. And until recently, I only read it or submitted parts of it to close friends, and they liked it. And one of the ladies that was listening to what I was reading in and kind of liked it, said, well, why don't you publish it? When are you going to publish it? And I kept thinking, I don't know, if I should, because I'm a little bit nervous about that. What if people get the wrong idea? What if I get harassed? And then I came across Daily Kos and, or Kos, whatever. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. Ordinary people, it seems, are submitting articles or stories, and they call them stories, and they get published. And they don't necessarily get a lot of likes, or it doesn't go viral. And I haven't really, I've got some. But the point is you're out there, that you're putting yourself out there. Now, I did one thing that to kind of calm me down a little bit about doing that. I took up a pen name, and the pen name is John Quill, JONQUILL, so that I wouldn't necessarily be identified directly with my writing. So I've kind of chickened a little bit, but it has an impact. And even though it maybe I may get 20 people look at it or whatever at one time, it's like you feel like you're doing something. You're putting something out there. You're putting part of yourself out there and letting people know that you're on this side or their side, and you want to be sure that other people that have the same thoughts can do the same thing and encourage them. So my goal today, if anything, would be to encourage your listeners, your people in the chat, or people that call in, think about maybe submitting something online to Daily Kos. And I'm sure from listening to people talk to you and the writing in the chat room that people have a lot to say. And what I like about Daily Kos or Kos is that there's no word minimum or maximum. I mean, I've seen articles go on and on and on, but a lot of articles are just a few hundred words, and they're great. I mean, they make a point, and that's it. They're done. And I think that's fantastic. You don't have to be an author. You don't have to use all kinds of big words and things. You can just say what you're thinking and put it out there.
It is amazing because, believe it or not, I find that a lot of times just reading what people put out there is a catalyst for my programs.
Good.
You have been a catalyst for my programs many times. And the reason why, again, is we are trying to have some sort of an interconnection with people. And I think that is what's really missing in our society today. This rugged individualism that some preach is just a way of keeping folks apart. And when folks are kept apart, they think there are differences that aren't really there. And I think a lot of if you take a look at your writings, I've published some of them on politics, politicsdoneright.com. And you place some of them out there as well. We have quite a bit of your limericks out there as well.
Yeah, I need to update that. Yeah.
Yeah, so and now that you found Daily Kos, which gives you that unique audience with those journals that you write out there. I think they call them. Is it journals they call them? I think they call them.
They call them stories.
Diaries.
Oh, there's diaries. But a lot of them are story. They call stories too. It's like a story, but it's not a fictional story. It's a true story.
Right.
And they watch. They have an editorial staff that watches what you're putting out there, so you don't do something that's way off base. I've gotten a couple notices.
You have?
One of my articles, I used the term maggots, MAGATS, and I couldn't figure out at first what I did wrong. They blocked me, and so I had to write to them. I said, "What did I do?" And he says, "Well, look at your first line." So I looked at it and said, "Oh, they didn't like that." They have a policy that you're not supposed to attack people, especially groups,
right,
with some kind of name or something like that. They don't have a problem with you attacking political figures and making funny names and stuff like that, which I sometimes do. But it's when you start putting a group and you're saying everybody's in this category, they don't like that. And I can understand that. I don't want to be called a libtard. So
yeah, well, as long as it's done fairly, I remember being hit at Daily Kos before, and I actually went all the way to the top and said, "Hey, guy, this is actually factual." And it was like, "Yeah, I agree with you, but we have a staff now that actually goes through and,
Yeah, they look at it. Well, I was glad somebody was looking at it. I thought, wow, the editorial staff is really, they're reading what I'm writing. That's anybody that's a writer, I don't really have a goal of selling lots of books and stuff like that, And this is free. Daily Kos is free. You're not getting anything for it. You're just getting, the thrill of having something published. So, that's the real thrill is just having somebody read what you write and feel that you make a difference. And that's why I thought calling it creative writing activism, might perk up some other people to try their hand at it.
Actually, describe what you, when you say creative writing activism, I mean, a lot of people can't go onto the streets, and and I think if I understand your meaning correctly, it is like, but you have other platforms that you can actually make yourself be heard, right?
Well, this is the main one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you still have WordPress and you have Substack now, and I can put stuff out there, but I'm never sure who's reading it and how many and what impact it's making. That's what I liked about Daily Kos. You're getting some feedback, and it just encourages you to go and keep doing it. But if you're just sending stuff out, and let's say you're writing a letter or email to the congressman, or you're sending out letters to different groups, and if you don't get a response, you're thinking, well, what's the point? I'm not making a difference, and maybe I shouldn't be doing this if nobody's going to acknowledge. And it's just a thrill to get even one or two people saying, oh, that was good, or I'd recommend that, or here's a comment, maybe I didn't like it, or I have something to add. But you're like you do with your chat room, you're getting some feedback. You feel like, okay, people are actually paying attention, and that's good.
That is so important. You're right about that. One of the reasons I am, and it doesn't matter how many people I eventually get, I'll always have that chat feature, and not only have the chat feature, but the chat and the phone, the emails features, because I want the feedback. And it doesn't, the truth of the matter is, let me just say one thing. When you write on places like Daily Kos, or even if you have it on my politicsandright.com website or whatever, I can tell you that most people, because we can actually see the metrics behind the scenes as far as how many times that article was pulled up, how many times, so we see that. And the fact of the matter is, when you put on those platforms, your article is pulled, right?
Okay.
The thing about it is that most people pull an article, they read it, they don't like it, they don't put a comment on it. In fact, I read a lot of things, and I am trying to be better at it, in that I acknowledge that I like the articles that I'm reading, or I am trying to teach myself, or I shouldn't say, I'm trying to get sufficiently disciplined to put feedback, because just listening to what you just said, it gives me even more impetus that I need to go ahead and do that, because you just said it.